What are you doing? Whoa, what do you mean what am I doing, bruv? Don't scare me like that, mate. I'm trading, innit? What do you want? Every time you come here, you're always giving it me. What now? What have I done wrong? No, listen, mate. You keep saying that you're going to freaking sort it out. You keep saying you're going to listen. You're not listening to what you tell everybody anymore. No. So? Get off my back, mate. You're always on my back. Do you know what I mean? Fucking like, let a man live. Do you know what I mean? It makes sense. I'm alright. Oh, I should go, should I? Do you want me to go? Right. Well, don't fucking moan at me and don't start crying like me when you freaking fuck shit up, yeah? It's not my problem anymore. You deal with it. I don't want to hear it up here. It's a you problem. Like, big time as well. I told you, didn't I? You said, don't worry. And now, who's the big man? Not you, bruv. What's going on, YouTube? How are we doing? So in today's video, I wanted to share a part of my journey with you all that not many people will probably share, and I perhaps don't have to share, but I want to share. I built this channel on being honest, being transparent, and trying to be that shining light in an industry that's full of shit. So as from the little skit at the beginning, you can see I fucked up my FCMO, blew it up a couple of weeks ago, and I wanted to get out and just share a video because there's a lot of lessons within this failure, if you like, or down moment, or upset, or whatever you want to call it. For me personally, I'm actually cool. I've always told myself funding is not the be-all and end-all. Funding is simply a tool for us to use to our own devices, to continue to grow our wealth, to grow our personal accounts, which I'm very grateful that I've done, because I do have a good personal, which I could just run off into the sunset and trade, and I'd probably be alright. But at the same time, I don't like withdrawing from that, because I want to compound that and continue to grow it. And the prop accounts are incredible, right? But I didn't have it on a pedestal. I don't have it on a pedestal. I won't have it on a pedestal. And I basically want to share what happened, because I figured that sometimes when I look back at perhaps my journey and my getting into trading, and the first 4 years was obviously complete fuckeries, it was very hard to look at people that were always just winning, right? Everybody was just winning. And I've come to realise that I've got quite a big audience, and big ups to every single one of you for the love, the support. It means the world to me, and I do see everyone's messages. But I figured I've got a very big audience, and I kind of have a duty to ensure that I deliver the best message possible, because it would be wrong of me and my values to just say, yeah, I'm killing it, when at this point in time I've had a bad month, and I want to share that with you. Rather than just kind of hiding away, focusing on myself and doing my thing, I would share this to hopefully help other people. Now, there's a lot of videos on my channel that I basically went against in the month of May and completely just got myself in a pickle, right? So I want to kind of just touch on what happened, how it happened, why it probably happened, the takeaways I've had from it, and, you know, hopefully someone's in a similar situation perhaps. I know a lot of people look up to funding as the way out, and look, funding can be your way out, right? 100%. There's not many places, and this is why I want to show people. I've done it in a previous video, but I want to explain it now. The reason why I'm not bothered, right, is because I've always seen it I've lost accounts before, and I've blown challenges and verifications. I've been very honest about that before. Obviously, of course, not nice, do you know what I mean? But the reason I'm not that bothered is because the way I see funding, right, is you pay, let's use a 100k account, it's much easier. You pay £500 for a 100k account, I think it's that, or $490 or something, right? So that's your initial investment. Now, if you put that into a personal account, at the beginning, you're probably not going to make much on it. Don't get me wrong. You can compound that slowly, and it can become larger money over a long period of time. The problem with the small accounts, they're the times where everyone wants to flip their money, flip their nan's 50 quid, or flip their birthday money, because they don't have the investment to actually make money. So they're trying to make that investment by doing crazy shit, right? And it's why you see people on YouTube like, I flipped fucking 100 quid into £1,000, look at me. Look, like, that's great, but funding, you can basically put £500 risk down, you can grab yourself a 100k account, you could make 10% a month, and you could literally return yourself after splitting, you'd have 8k, and then you've got your taxes and whatever else, right? But there's not much out there that for a £500 investment, you can return that kind of money, right? Now, what you have to remember is, of course, there are very strict rules. and there are rules in place because as a business model, funding is very lucrative and they make money out of people's failure. And that is the model, right? Now, again, I'm not now like, oh, I'm going to bash prop firms because I fucked one up. Not at all. If you look at my old videos, I've always said the same thing. I'm preaching off the same hymn sheet. They're a great tool, but they're not the be all and end all. And what you should always do if you're funded, you should always be focusing on, can I grow my personal? If you've got other wealth coming in from other things, can I grow my personal? Because again, if you're someone that perhaps fails 20 funded challenges, for instance, that money is 10 grand, right? If you put that 10 grand into a personal, now you can start making decent money on that, right? Perhaps not to live, depending on how you trade, but you certainly can start to scale that well. And if you just let that compound, providing you have another source of income, that'll get to a point where you can certainly live from it, right? But the whole be all and end all of that growing of wealth is you don't want to just have it all sat in the bank. It does nothing. You want to continue to grow and scale it, right? And make larger wealth. The reason I wasn't that bothered by losing it is because I'd already had my money back. So my initial investment I'd taken back anyway. I'd made profit on those months. So for me, it was like, well, I haven't actually lost anything. Yes, I perhaps have lost the ability to make larger capital quicker in a month, but that's all I've lost. They haven't gone to me, well, you can't use this anymore, mate, because you fucked it. This model is built on me chasing the golden ticket and wanting to get another one and wanting to like fight back and go, I'm going to fucking show you, I'm going to be funded again, rah, 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 rah. And that's quite a dangerous spiral, because if you fall into that, you can just start printing money where you're just giving it to them and you'll never actually take it. And it's hard, right? You've got to make 10%, you've got to make 5%, you've got to do a month in profit. Naturally, you want to make loads of money because it's your first month. Not many people are like, can I just get risk off? You know, like in a trade where we're risk managers and our key should be get risk off. Sometimes with the whole funded, we don't try and get our risk off by getting our money back and then beginning to trade it when it's essentially risk-free. We all try and like make loads of silly money first, and then I say we all, some always try and make silly money first. I've done this, and this is kind of what happened. And then you basically just go into drawdown and you stay in drawdown. So that's kind of the spiel. I just want people to know, please, if you've been in this situation or you're in this situation or you're in drawdown and it's stressing you out, don't think it's the end of the world. There's always opportunity to go and get another account. There's always opportunity to get refunded, and you will get refunded provided you learn from the lessons that I'm about to share and the lessons that you hopefully have taken away from any of your failure. You have to remember, all successful athletes, all successful businessmen, entrepreneurs, businesswomen, whatever you want to call it, everybody has failure, and everybody says you have to fall in love with failing, and sometimes you'll fail more than you'll win, but the wins will outweigh the failures, and it's about learning from those failures. And for me, this is a really key point in my journey. 18 months ago, I was still at work. I was still in loads of debt. Didn't have anywhere really anything going for me. Fast forward 18 months, I've started to, you know, grow my wealth, grow my life, right? I'm in a much better position where, yes, I don't have to rush to get funded again. I have my personal account. I have Hustle. I have YouTube. I have a couple of other little things. I have money coming in. I'm all right. Right? Not rich, I'm not balling in any way, shape or form, but I've also been sensible. I've allocated things in place so that if anything was to happen, I've got an emergency fund. I've got money here to cover me for a couple of years. Like, I'm okay, right? But I don't want to be dipping into that because that I really want to use for other stuff. So of course, I'm going to go and get refunded. But I want to explain a little bit about what happened and how I plan to kind of rekindle things and kind of bring that love and everything back for it. Because the last couple of months in general, since being a founder of a community and all the other things I've been doing, it's been hard, right? So what happened? Fortunately enough, I logged every trade I took during that month of May. And it's funny because when I went over them, at the time I was like, yeah, cool, it's valid, whatever. When I actually went over them properly, I was like, I think 1 out of 9 or 8 actually fit the plan, right? The rest were a shit show. And it's mad because I'd like to say I've got quite a good mindset now. I've developed it very well. I still have my wobble days. I still have my down days. It's normal. Your mental health is like your physical health. You are always going to have to keep on top of it, right? That is just natural. You don't just get to mental health stage where you're like, cool, completed it. Same as you don't get to a fitness stage where you're like, completed it. If you stay complacent, you don't eat right, you don't exercise, you're going to gain weight, you're going to get health problems. It's the same with your mental health, right? You have to always keep that mind flowing, keep it fresh, keep it healthy. Obviously, January, I started being a founder of Hustle, and I had, previously to that, you guys know I had a very systematic, simple approach that I just implemented. I did my thing. I made 10% a month, some months 6, some months 7. It wasn't always 10%. Some months didn't make much, right? It was always varying depending on my performance, depending on my lifestyle. But I was withdrawing that money. I was putting it into other things. I was clearing debts, I was doing whatever, right? When I came to Hustle, I was like, right, I'm a founder, right? We're building elite advanced traders. I need to ensure that I'm kind of being elite and advanced. And my view on elite has slightly changed now. And I believe that, right, I'm going to put new challenges. And I remember doing a video saying I'm going to up the percent I want to make a month. I'm going to increase how much R I can make. I'm going to go for it. I've got the ability to do it. I want to challenge myself. And then I remember that. I can't remember what video it is. If I find it, I'll post it. But I remember saying that. And I basically went about that. I went to, implementing things with more aggression, trying to catch more moves, trying to make more R, trying to hold trades for longer, trying to increase my risk. Potentially refining massively was a big takeaway. I started to refine more and more and more. I started to try and implement new things more and more and more. And some of them great, some of them absolutely changed the way I saw things. Some of them I didn't perhaps need to implement, tried to, because again, I felt like I had to be relevant. I felt like I had to be not the man, but I had to ensure that now you're a founder, right? You don't want to dwindle into non-existence, because people are going to ask you questions. People want to see how you're doing. People want to know how you perform. And we're very transparent and honest within Hustle, and we do share that sort of stuff. So, and the guys will know that, guys and girls that are in Hustle will know, I shared this moment with them literally the week it happened. I wanted them to know straight away, and I was very transparent about that. I put it in the funding channel. Might pop that up here if it all fits. It might not. So yeah. And I had some amazing love and support from all of you, and it's incredible the community we've built and the love and support that's there. Everyone was very understanding of what had happened, and I wasn't doing it for validation. I'm not doing this for, oh, look at me, he's trying to be nice and play the sorry card, but let's all be friends with it. It's nothing like that. It's simply a bump in my journey that I feel like I didn't document enough of my journey sort of the last 2 years, which would have been really beneficial. I'm trying to perhaps document some things now. One, for myself, so I can look back and go, fucking hell, remember when you did that? Oh shit, you've got a video on that. And two, to hopefully help other people, because I get so many messages from people saying, you're my idol, you're this, you're that. And I just want you to understand that I do fuck things up still. I still can fail. I am not perfect. And again, on all my videos, I've always said I'm not by any means perfect or claiming to be. So I started implementing a lot of new stuff. I would say I've had okay months this year. They haven't been the best months by any means. I've been very busy understanding just running the community. Hats off to people that do it. It's actually mad how much time something it can take, the energy it can take. And your energy is also like your currency. If your energy's been zapped here, there and everywhere, it's very quick for it to take its toll on you as a person, where you're like, shit, my energy's gone there, fuck, my energy's gone there. You can get to the end of the day and you can have no energy for yourself. And what I basically took from all of this is I basically stopped giving myself the love, attention and time that I used to give it. And I started to give it to more people, because I felt that need to, because now I'm in a role where I've got, people are paying for a service and you've got to deliver the service, right? And people might ask you on Zooms or in chat, how many trades have you took? How's your trading going? You haven't posted a trade in a while. Are you okay? What's going on? And that's a very new thing to me, perhaps to what I had at Phantom. Don't get me wrong, at Phantom, I was very much in the limelight there. I was doing Zooms, I was doing calls. I was a big part of, their strategy in essence. And those of you that know me from that, or that were a part of that, will know that I had a very simple, systematic approach I implemented that might not have been the same as everyone there, but the core foundations that we traded were identical, right? It was simply that some of us might have seen an entry different, or a liquidity piece different, or a flip slightly different, or a different kind of criteria we would see, but we all kind of had the similar idea, right? But I would argue my case to anyone. Those of you that were on the Zooms would know. I would be like, this is how I trade. This is the shit I do, and this is what makes me dough, and this is what I fucking do, and I ain't changing this for no one. Like, that was me, right? I was very much that guy. And I keep telling you guys, every week. And yes, the stuff I tell you all, I didn't listen to, slap me, get the bat out, whack me up. I didn't listen to my own advice. And what's been crazy is the past couple of weeks, I've been looking back at my own videos. And I've been watching that guy in the video, and I'm like, fucking hell, man, that guy, that's me. But I kind of changed a little bit of who I was without realising. And I only recently have caught myself, and I'm like, damn. And as long as you catch yourself, you hold yourself accountable, and you become self-aware, that's cool. It's when you try and hide from it, it's when you don't hold yourself up to accountability and go, fuck it, it was just, a mix of events. I was going to buy another one and crack on with it today. That's where you can have a problem, because you need to go back and go, right, what went wrong? What happened, right? See, I could have, like I said, I could just go grab another one today. I could grab fucking 4 of them, and I could be like, right, let's have it large, boom. The problem is, if I was to fail them, if I was to perhaps fuck them up, I'm then going to dig a deeper hole, and my mind's going to really take a hit, and I'm going to be like, fucking hell, what's going on? So I decided I'm not going to do that. I'm going to wait until I feel ready. So I'm going to go right back to the drawing board. I'm going to completely restructure my edge to a more simple, systematic way that I used to trade, with added confluences that from refinements I've managed to make sense of that are needed for those extra tweaks to increase that strike rate. I'm going to take a couple of different trial accounts with FTMO. I want to pass either 3 or 5 on the bounce. I'll be trading my personal at full risk. Again, this is the beauty of a personal, right? You go 10% in drawdown, it doesn't matter. I'll get another trade and I'm back in profit. That obviously is the beauty of it. But again, like I say, a personal for me, until it's at big money, like I'm talking, 3, 4, 500 bags, millions, I don't really want to withdraw from it if I can, because the compounding effect is taking over. And if I start pulling from it, then there's a different story. So that's why for me funded is great, because I can pull from that, add to that, live from that, other things coming in. I've got other wealth to diversify, right? So for me, I'm going to take a real step back. I'm going back into deep testing. I'm going back into finding myself again, having the self-belief, because that's the biggest thing that took a hit. It's mad how the self-belief is kind of a bit like, whoa, what happened there? I've experienced drawdown 100%. And like I said before, I have fucked things up before, but I guess and this may be an ego that creeps in, and this is again self-awareness. I didn't realise, I didn't believe I would be in a position like this again. I kind of thought like, I'm good. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm sweet. Even making these videos and the effort and energy I have to put into creating them, that does zap your energy sometimes. You're like, fucking hell, that's taking a lot out of me. I'm just going to chill out. And obviously I changed the times I was trading. I only traded 1 session. And I basically found that because sometimes I'd miss moves in London, when it comes to New York, I was like, I have to trade, right? I know, I tell you all not to. I was like, I got to trade. Everyone else in the chats are trading. I'm getting left out a little bit. I need to look at this, I need to into that. And as I showed in the beginning of the video, I start implementing new things perhaps. I haven't gone and got enough fully tested data on. I've perhaps just seen it in my markups and gone, I'm going to add that in. And I've perhaps added this in and done that and done this. And before you know it, and I also increased my risk, may I add. I was back to risking like 1%. I was like, I'm cool. And that doesn't play games with you. Like 1% risk on a funded account with comms and spreads, it ain't 1% anymore. It's a lot more, right? So that made me realise like, okay, 1% risk, you need to rethink that. Pivoting into this, basically what I've found is I didn't stick to my plan at all. So my plan, I don't know what my plan was anymore. I'll be honest, I don't. And that's why I believe was the biggest problem, because I wasn't following a set of probabilities. What I looked at after looking back at those trades was most trades were different in some way or shape or form, whether it was the entry model or whether it was the setup I'm playing, the timing, the reasons behind it, the level I'm playing. There were so many different things. They were always different. I was trying to perform for somebody else, which again is essentially seeking validation without needing to. I'd created an expectation that I believed that everybody was looking up to me as the man and I had to perform, when in reality that probably wasn't the case for most, only for some. And I always had that pressure or weight on your shoulders where you're like, oh, fucking hell, everyone needs me to do well because they're all looking up to me. I get so many amazing messages from people saying like, you've changed my life, you've changed this, you've changed that. So I'm like, well, I can't be fucking wrong, mate. Like and that applies a pressure. Again, unintentionally I did that without even realising I made that expectation. I started trying to chase bigger R because I felt like I needed more money, because all of a sudden I was like, I need a bigger house. I need bigger holidays. I need to set the kids up loads of money for when they get bigger. And I'm like, actually, I don't want to do that, because then that means they're going to grow up and they're going to just have money, and that's not right. I need to teach them about money. Right, okay. And then I'm like, right, I want to retire my missus. And I'm like, well, hang on, she's trying to learn a trade to retire herself. You don't need to retire her. And all these things, you're probably sitting there thinking, you've done videos on all this shit. And I know. And that's the thing. That's why I went back and watched my own videos, which is powerful shit. And I realised, like, I was putting all these new expectations and goals on me. And it's so true what they say. And it's so true what I've repeated. Your happiness is not determined by how much money you have. It's not determined by how much R you make. It's not determined by what someone on social media says. And it's so true. And I know it might sound like, yeah, it's easy for you to say, or it's easy for them to say. But it's because it's actually true. If you're not happy within yourself and you're not in love with yourself, how can you be happy with your general life? And how can you love others if in yourself you don't believe or you don't have any self-love, right? I'd neglected myself without even realising subconsciously, because I was giving all my time to other people. So all those things I'd not done. My patience had fallen to shit. I was jumping at trades too early, knowing I was going to become liquidity, but it was like, no, I might miss it because I've missed trades already. I was taking trades out of hours because I was like, oh, there's a setup there, I'm at my desk, I must take it. I just basically didn't follow the rules and process that I'd put in place to get myself to where I'd got. So like I say, massive overhaul. I'm actually currently as well, a lot of people already know, I'm changing pair. Now I'm not sitting here saying it's the pair's fault. It's my fault. It's nothing else. There's no one else that it was their fault or his fault or her fault or this reason's fault. My fault. Every decision I make is based on me, and I'm a direct representation of those decisions. I have to deal with them, be at peace with them, we move on. I'm at peace with that shit. Like, I'm cool with it. But what I realised was I essentially made some of the wrong decisions, and I realised, okay, cool, it's time to change. So, going back to EU. The reason I'm changing from it, the masses trade it, right? Everybody trades it, especially in Hustle and on people I follow and friends. Every single person trades it. It's so easy for that bias, no matter how confident you can be in your edge. If somebody you trust or somebody you think does well says something, you're instantly now looking at that thing without even realising. It happens like that, right? And that happens a lot, especially when you're getting questions on a pair, you're getting asked certain things, people are taking constant trades. You naturally are like, I should be in that, I need to do that, I need to be this. And I've done a video on this, I know. And I was very good at that not bothering me. But lately it crept in. I allowed it in, and look what happens. When you allow that shit in, it fucking lets you know. And you can get humbled pretty quick in trading, right? So I decided, right, US 30. One, because not many trade it, although once I announced it kind of on Instagram the other day, I'm realising actually quite a lot of people do. Two, I found out there's no commission, which is mental. IC Markets is 0. I believe my Forex Funds is 0. I think FTMO, from what I've tested on a trial, there is a little bit of commission, but because they use US 30 cash, it doesn't align with IC Markets because they use US 30 and it's different asset classes. So like IC Markets, you'll use a bigger lot size than you would on FTMO. I believe FTMO 1% is like 12 lots or some shit. So like all that stuff I've been like, learning about, not just diving in. And I've realised that the no commissions is great because when you get a BE, it's basically a BE. I think on 12 lots, which is 1% risk on 140k on an FTMO trial, I believe you pay like £50 in commission, which is mental at 1%. Whereas if we go back to how I was doing it with EU, 1% risk, I would risk 1%, which would be £1,400 monetary value. It's easier way to explain it. And I'd probably sometimes lose 2k, 2.1k, which is getting closer to nearly fucking 2%. You're losing 1.5% a trade. So if you think you've got 10 trades, you don't. You've got like 6. So it's things like that as to why I've done it. The no comms is great. It's easy on the mind. You're taking BEs and now you can kind of be like, well, that ain't even a loss. I didn't lose any capital. So actually, maybe my strike rate's a bit higher. It's just good for the mind. But what I'm doing is I'm not just going, right, I know what I'm doing, let's fucking have it. I do know what I'm doing without being cocky or big-headed. I'm not perfect, but I've got a very fucking good understanding of what I do. I'm good at what I do, and I've helped many, many people get good at what they do from my teachings and understanding. But I didn't want to just dive into a new pair, new challenge, and just have it large. I wanted to take a real step back, most of June, maybe some of July, we'll see. I've got the 6 weeks coming up with the kids as well, and I want to make sure I'm around for as much of that as possible, and we do shit. But I want to test like mad, each concept that I want to test simultaneously, one after the other, combine them, get an edge, go live on my personal, hit it large, smash up a load of trials, and then when I'm ready, I'll go and approach funding again. That's because I know that if I just go into it now, I'm not learning from those lessons. Because what I'm basically saying to myself, if I just dive into another one, is I clearly had a problem. I'm not going to address that. I'm just going to go again and I'll figure it out. And that's where most people go wrong, is you just don't figure out what went wrong. Like I say, I'm pretty aware of what it was. It was basically, in a nutshell, not following my edge, not being disciplined, not having patience. The 3 core things that I believe are most crucial to traders. And I allowed my mindset to get crowded with just busyness. And it took away from trading. It's part of the game. It's why I say to a lot of people, having another income is a blessing, especially early on. When you've got bigger money, and I'm not saying it's all about money, but when you've got a bigger amount of money, you could perhaps make a trade every freaking quarter and be done. Do you know what I mean? Because you don't essentially, you're talking big numbers. Like if you've got 7, 8 figures, 5, 10%, they're silly money. You could go, I'm done for the quarter. I'm done for the year. However you want to do it, right? So yeah, obviously that is kind of where I'm at the moment. I wanted to share this. There was no pressure to share it. I do not have to share it. I didn't have to. I wanted to genuinely because I know it's going to help somebody. And if it does, that was what the whole channel was built on. I'm not bothered how many subscribers I've got, how many likes I get, how many views I get. I was at the beginning, and I started to fall into a trap with that, looking at why has this not got as many views as that, and you do all the analytics. That's fucking not healthy, mate. Now I'm just like, I know the channel's helping, and all the while it's helping people, I will always continue to deliver content, ups and downs. I'm not just going to share ups. I'm not just going to share freaking, ooh, look at me, I'm killing it. I want to also share, oh, look at me, I fucked it. Because it's important in the space that I'm in and the kind of influence that I perhaps have, that I'm very transparent and go, look, you know, fucked it, man. I was more bothered about allowing it to happen. It wasn't even the fact that I lost the account. It was like, how did you let that happen when you had such a good system? And it was a wake-up call. And I believe that these things happen for a reason. I will learn from this like no tomorrow. And I will move forward going, that was a fucking key turning point. Because this will put me on the path that I need to be on to continue to develop and grow as a trader. But yeah, big ups for staying to the end if you did. Massive appreciation to all of you and your love and your support. It means the world to me. Let's get it. Let's remember no one's perfect. No egos around here. We're all on a journey together. Let's help and support one another. Let's not all freaking try and compete. There's no need for that. If you want to do it, go and enter a competition and compete. That's great. But in this space, there needs to be more positivity. There needs to be more humbleness. There needs to be more self-awareness and help. It's okay to reach out, to say to people, I'm struggling. Can you help? That's fine. Do you know what I mean? No matter what position you're in, you should be able to do that because it's important to keep this in check. Hope you all have an incredible week. And I'll catch you in a bit. Peace and love, guys.